People are looking for something real, and the problem is they're looking to the world for answers. By the world, I mean the world that we project mentally, the world that we can think about, the world that we can name, the world of objects. When I say it's not real, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means that it's not eternal and unchanging. Sometimes I use the word phantasmagoria as kind of a dreamlike parade of things going by. That's basically what each day is. We wake up and then there's a parade of phantasmagoria. It's not a problem if we see it for what it is. It's basically just the mind going by. And collectively, the world takes on a form because everyone is participating in it. All these minds, all these beliefs, ideologies, systems, practices, assumptions about the world, all of those things manifest as the world that we know. And it's understandable to look at it and say, this doesn't satisfy me. It's strange and unpredictable, or I don't trust it, or I don't trust people, I don't trust governments, I don't trust authorities, religious figures, people like that. The real is within you. It is you. So you don't have to go looking out there for it. It's not an object. It is the very one that's looking. It's the one that's speaking these words, for example. We are all that same one. And it sounds weird when I say that. Like there's a part of me, when I say we're all that same one, it's like, man, that sounds kind of like an undifferentiated mass of cosmic goo. Like I'm not so sure I like that. The mind makes distinctions. And we all have different minds. They participate in that same worldly milieu of ideas. It's like a marketplace of ideas, this world. Consciousness is not like that. The consciousness that we are is one. And it seems like that would be strange because we attach a thought to it and then we think, man, if we just mashed all our thoughts together into a Jell-O mold and softened it and gushed it around and poured it out, it would just be a mess. A lot of popular philosophies, I think, are like that. They're not very clear. They're not very satisfying because they lead nowhere. Thoughts are tools ultimately for pointing to truth, pointing to reality. When they point back to more thoughts, it becomes this circular circle jerk of thinking about thinking, and then thinking about thinking, and then realizing that's weird and having the judgment that it's weird, and then like, oh, no, I'm weird. Oh, I can't be weird, so we shove that down. Then we develop this persona where we're not weird. Like, I'm not weird. And the weirdness just percolating underneath, just waiting to spring out like a jack-in-the-box when you're not ready. Or when you're ready. Depends how you look at it. We don't want to do any spiritual bypassing. We want to feel what we feel, and the things that come out when we become more conscious, the old feelings, conditioned responses, ideas, beliefs. Usually it's pretty disruptive because it's unexpected. It's like opening an old box that you've had in the closet and it's packed. When you open it up, it just comes springing out. And you have to sort that. But often that's emotional. And so emotional, not outbursts necessarily, but emotional, I almost want to say takeover, where the feeling becomes so intense in the body, just in one's experience. And we're not used to feeling all that because it's something we've hidden from for many years. That can be super intense and it's almost unbearable sometimes. The key is to feel what you feel. And the practice of disidentifying from thoughts, feelings, and sensations will help you. The statements of disidentification are, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm not my emotions. I have a body, I have a mind, and I have emotions, but I am not those things. I am the witness to those things. And I find that helpful as a frame to be with difficult feelings, difficult emotions that may arise in this work, because it helps you remember who you are, that you're, in a sense, the one observing it, that you are not those things. So if you're having a rough time, you can just say that to yourself, remind yourself, I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm not my emotions. That way you can really feel what you feel, really notice the thoughts that are involved, feel whatever sensations may be going on in your body without judgment. And if judgments arise, just notice that. Because a judgment is a thought coming in on top of it. I'm not my thoughts. So it's a helpful practice. I call it unpacking because it's like having a hoarded house where all your old stuff is crammed in the closet or even maybe spilling out, and you can't find your way out of your house. So there's a lack of freedom there. It's dangerous, it's restrictive, there's less aliveness. You're scared because you're surrounded by all this old crap that you can't let go of, and the door is blocked. It's blocked by a wall of boxes with old junk in it. And these are just what Eckhart Tolle might call the pain body. It's the past pain that lives on in you. It's maybe the traumas we went through as a child, difficult emotions that we repressed. And I find that reality, part of what I call reality, is just seeing things as they are. And awakening is basically like an uncluttered mind. It's a clear space of awareness where the thoughts don't intrude. With spiritual work, what we're trying to do is find the exit. We're trying to unpack the boxes that are in the way. And that can involve quite a bit of emotion. And, in a sense, psychological processing, releasing, letting go, forgiveness, stuff like that. We could sit, say in Zazen, and just witness that content as it arises, and maybe not have a real outward display of emotion, but it's coming up, and we're witnessing it. The practice is to witness it without judgment. It's the without judgment part that's challenging. That's the part that really gets skipped over sometimes. Like, just observe your thoughts. Who's observing, and what's the subtle sense of that self that's judging itself for some thoughts that are good and others that are bad? It's becoming aware of that one that's the real work. And it's really subtle because there's probably one behind that one. There's a controller trying to manipulate things. That's really what the ego is. Sometimes I call it the controller. So we unpack these boxes, and I like the term disidentification. So it comes up, you unpack it, and just like on one of these hoarding shows, you take one off the pile and look at it. So there's thought, feeling, emotion, something comes up. Witness it without judgment. Feel it in your body. It can change your physiology as you're witnessing it because there's a belief system. I kind of feel it right now. I can sort of put it on, imagine what that's like in this moment. And the thought forms will have kind of a shape or a structure to it. And sometimes even a color. Images may appear. There may be a tactile sense. So within our awareness, these things arise. And if we don't judge them, they dissolve. Spiritual work is about dissolving your mind. My experience of it is like unpacking old boxes of moldy, hoarded shit that was under your mattress for 30 years. Or was in the cellar, or I don't know why, but I think the movie Evil Dead, where the zombified grandparents are down in the cellar and they try to come up, they're trying to get out, and stuff will come up from down there. And it's not pleasant. It is not pleasant. Not the stuff that's in our way. Not the stuff that we don't want to see. My understanding of the shadow, according to Jung, is it's material that was actively repressed, usually in childhood because we just couldn't handle it or didn't want to deal with it. So it's part of the ego structure. And then later on as adults, it's in our way. I just say we unpack that stuff. That's just my term for it, unpacking. You have to look at each piece and really feel it. Really feel it. There's no way around that. What's called spiritual bypassing is the kind of, it's not even really spirituality. It's a weak attempt at it that promises a shortcut where you don't have to feel that stuff, where you don't have to unpack that stuff. You do. Because it's in the way of the door and you want to get free. So what I like to say is before you wake up, you have all these boxes and piles of junk. Just like on the show Hoarders. Just watch the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. But say it's stacked in front of the door. And you keep adding to it. Or you try to get rid of some stuff and then you add more and it never really goes anywhere. The key is to make progress and get rid of that stuff. But really all you need to do is clear a path to the door. And open the door and get out. Figuratively speaking. So before you wake up, that's what you do. You clear away. You dissolve the mind. It's letting go. It's a letting go process. Old beliefs, old ideas that aren't even true, don't even apply. They're causing us suffering because they're unconscious and they drive our physiology. They make us do things we don't want to do. They can drive addictions. Not necessarily, but they could just get in the way of being happy and functional, where you're kind of pretending a lot of the time. And it could be even, 50% of your energy is just holding that down there and acting nice, and functioning in your day, and you get tired. And then at the end of the day, it's like, give me something to drink or give me some kind of drug or give me something. I just want to check out. That kind of thing. I think we all do that. So, unpacking. It does not sound flattering to me. It doesn't sound negative. It's just like something we have to do. It's more like a task. Just shine a light on it. Just put a light on it. If there's a shadow, put your light on it. There's no shadow. What's there? It's the crap that you hid in your closet. It's like, ugh. It's garish. It's monstrous. It's huge. It is not flattering because you hid it. All those parts of self that you didn't want to look at because you didn't want to, quote, be that. Like all the unflattering photos that have ever been taken of you, like the really bad ones, packed into a disc and stuffed under there or something. I mean, just mounds of that stuff. You take it out and you look at it, you're like, oh, shit. The process is, that's not who I am. Like this thing I'm looking at, these images or these feelings, we disidentify. I'm not my body. I'm not my mind. I'm not my emotions. And yet I'm watching them. I'm the awareness. Like, oh, okay. And then maybe a feeling of revulsion. Imagine looking at really bad photos of yourself from elementary school or middle school or something like that. As a part of you just wants to cringe and make it go away. You don't want to be that. The thing is, it never was you. It isn't you. That's the whole point. You feel the feeling of what that was like to have that belief that it was you. The attachment, the whole thing. There's a spiritual teacher named Jed McKenna. His process he calls spiritual autolysis, which literally means self-digestion. So it's dissolving the self. The self is mind created. So it's dissolving the mind. It's dissolving the self because it's a figment. It's a phantom. It's imaginary. It's not who we are. And it gets really heavy. All that hoarded material and all that stuff we've hidden, it's there. Instead of taking out the garbage, if you just shove it in your kitchen cabinets, it's going to start to smell after a while. If you shove it in the cellar, it might be okay for a while. If you bury it, it'll come out. And if it doesn't come out, you'll be miserable because it keeps stacking up and you keep shoving it down. And then you get to be of an advanced age and you can't stem the tide anymore. It all comes breaking down. All that stuff comes flooding into consciousness. Just go to a nursing home. It is sad. It's sad. I have great compassion for anyone in a nursing home. My mother was in a nursing home. We were fortunate to find a good one, and even the good ones are kind of rough. And she did fine. I've seen ones that are horrific. People moaning and yelling and in obvious, at least cognitive distress, if not physical distress, emotional. That's what happens when you hide that shit your whole life. It's packed down tight. You can't live like that. When you're young, you can just hold it together. You get older and it's like, oh man, I'm losing it. And what do? I'm suggesting that you unpack it. Unpack the junk that you've repressed.